All right, we're doing a super fast video. It's not going to be super in depth. I'm not going to show you all the stuff, but we are installing a Air Lift 5000 airbag with the spring cradle on a 2008 Toyota Tundra. I have one of those campers you can see way off in the distance over there. It's super heavy. I've got extra leafs. I've got Icon Dynamic stage 4 shocks, and it still sags pretty hard. So we're gonna put the airbag right in between here. I already cut my bump stop. I've got the car jacked up. I've got all the parts together. This is all basic in the user manual. These are free. So we're diverting a little bit from the classic install because we want these cradles, but it should be relatively simple. I'm just showing what it looks like for this exact scenario because I haven't seen anything about a Tundra with a lift, with the extra leaves, blah, 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 making sure it all works. So this is your video. Here we go. One, snap a beer. 7K, baby, let's go. All right, first weird thing you gotta do is this is your brake cable. You just bend that forward enough so that you can get this spring, or sorry, this clamp that's gonna go here in there without being in the way of that bracket. So just bend it, kind of cock it over. Obviously you gotta be careful with your shock. This is the part that's moving. So this is stationary, so you can get pretty close, but obviously you don't want to be super close. That's the driver's side. Also, let's get a real timestamp. We're at 6:28. It's probably been 10 minutes or so. All right, sorry you don't get to see the actual work, but I just got the L bracket on, finger tight with the 2 nuts there. They're carriage bolts, so they got the square head. Getting all that fitted. There is a left and a right, and everything is ambidextrous in terms of the mounting bracket and everything, but there are specific ways, and once you have the bolt holes lined up with the airbag and the top bracket right here, you will have a left and a right, so pay attention there. It's all easily followed in your manual. All right, I've got all these torqued down. You got to do a cross bolt pattern as you tighten them. It's kind of a pain in the ass. I'm really surprised. I've never seen where a carriage bolt slips. They seem to manufacture these square holes a little bit too large because they allow the carriage bolt to spin, which is really dumb. But we'll see how it goes. Once it started getting a little bit tight, then it kind of grabbed, but you really got to shove it up in there. But 12 foot-pounds of torque, you do a cross bolt pattern, so I tighten that one first, then this one, that one, this one, that one, and then recheck them all just to make sure. I can already tell where this is sitting. It's not where this wants to sit in terms of this crashing into here, so I'm really gonna have to bend this and finagle a little bit more outward and more of an angle like that way. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, don't forget, grip your beer. You'll need a deep socket to get these all the way down, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. It looked like this thing was going to be way in the way, but once I got this on, I realized it wasn't really that bad, and once I start to tighten it, it'll push it as it needs to. So these will suck up to there, so we'll get that going. All right, the other side is basically the exact same. Get these bolts with the L bracket. You get that one there on the inside of the frame. You line this cup up forward and backward, left and right, so it's centered within that bag itself. Tighten everything down. These are 12 foot-pounds. These are 16 foot-pounds if you're looking to torque it properly. This one was much simpler because the shock, you can see, shot goes forward on the driver's side and goes backward on the passenger side, so it's much more, you got much more clearance there, so you can bend this any way you want. I've got a small gap there. I might bend it so it's tight, or so it's not so tight. But yeah, pretty simple. Let's move on to the air. All right, run your line wherever you want. I'm going like this. I'll zip tie that all later. All right, it looks a lot lighter in this video than it is, but it's real dark. I got everything. It is 8:36, so it took pretty much exactly 2 hours. I just aired it up, the truck lifted. I'm not gonna test for leaks or anything now because, like I said, it's real dark. My phone is awesome, so it looks a lot lighter than it is. But I ended up putting the shraders right on this little, it's like a little bracket just to hold the body. And it's tucked perfectly away, so it's pretty sweet. So there, and there, it's just a little bracket. For now, enjoy your beer, enjoy your life, and don't forget the 4x4. All right, it's the next day. We're just gonna get back in here, get a good look at everything again. Checking, it's actually been a few days. I've driven it a bunch, so I'm gonna just double check all the torques. Cut all these zip ties flush, and then do another pressure test. There it is. So, real nice and tucked away, hidden. It's real easy to mess with the airlines if you do have a leak. So let's say you did have a leak, and 9 times out of 10 it's going to be at this part. Alright, so it was pretty hard for me to get a shot of where the airline comes into the airbag itself. But the best way to air test for this is just pump it up to exactly 50 psi, or any number, it doesn't matter, 80 psi, and leave it overnight and then check it again in the morning. I did this twice and it was the exact same psi in the morning that it was when I left it the night before, so that indicates to me there's no leaks. If you did have a leak, it's not the end of the world. It's, like I said, most likely going to be that connection point and the way that you cut the tube itself, the air hose. So make sure you get a razor and you cut that perfectly flat, perfectly, perpendicular across, so it's not like angled or have any barbs or anything like that, and just reinsert it into the T-fitting. You know the deal. Like, subscribe, check out my other videos. I'm doing all sorts of stuff like this. We're going to Baja this fall, so we're getting the car ready, and hopefully we'll post some other cool videos about the trip and whatever. But you know what to do. Like, subscribe, appreciate you. Catch you on the flip. Drink some beer, enjoy your life. Get outside. Got a normal pressure gauge, but I also have a sensitive one for when your tires get really low. So we'll be using this to check. 4 psi, so it's a little bit low. I gotta add 1 or 2, but it's pretty good. I want it at the minimum when the truck is naked, because to be honest, it still is pretty rough. I was hoping that at 5 psi I wouldn't really notice it, but you definitely do. We have big speed bumps right by my house, and I think because of that cradle, that extra puck, there's no room for it to really drop down. We'll see, because really, I put these airbags on because despite the fact that I have the Stage 4 Icon Dynamics with the extra leaf, I think it may be 2 extra leaves, I'm not sure. I thought it would be enough for this. I call it my Go Fuck Yourself, because the Go Fast camper is about $12,000 for the Tundra, which is insane. So I made this out of wood, extruded aluminum, and it's pretty heavy, obviously. So between that, this entire shelving unit, and a 21-gallon water tank in here, I've got about probably 700 or 800 pounds when it's all fully loaded. So the airbags will crush it and we'll be looking good. Another Tundra friend just came over. Alright, and this is me just testing out to see how easily I can fill the airbags up with a bicycle pump, because I didn't want to buy a super expensive compressor. But it works great, and yeah. Like, subscribe, check out my other videos. Appreciate you guys.